Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Sustainability and Infrastructure Commission meeting for June 9th, 2021. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Cookie, roll call, please.
Chair Rowinski.
Present.
Commissioner Robbins.
Here.
Commissioner Lorraine.
Here.
Commissioner Narita.
Here.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Here.
Just a reminder to everyone, due to the current physical distancing protocols, the city has put into place 2 ways for the public to participate remotely in tonight's meeting. For people joining the meeting by video, click on the Zoom link found at the top of the meeting's agenda. Use the Raise Your Hand button to be called upon at the appropriate time. When called upon, please let us know who you are and provide your comments to the commission. Please note the speaker's timer can be found in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. The timer will let each speaker know when their time has expired to speak, which is 3 minutes. The other way for people to join our meeting is by phone. That is calling 408-638-0968. Once again, area code 408-638-0968. Entering conference ID number 8218 79 26 86, the number 2, 82 18 79 26 86, and the number 2. And then to enter the passcode 96 39 47. Once again, that passcode 96 39 47. And pressing the pound key. Press *9 to raise your hand to be called upon. When called upon, press *6 to unmute. And once again, introduce yourself, followed by comments to the commission. Ms. Cookie Kaplan will inform those commenting by phone when their 3-minute speaking time has expired. The video and phone options for public comment will remain open and available until all comments have been made to the commission. The next item on tonight's agenda is the election of the chair and vice chair, who will serve 1 year starting today. Way we'll do this, everyone, is we'll nominate and elect our chair, and then we'll follow that by the nomination and election of our vice chair. So commissioners, do I have any nominations? Otherwise, I'd be glad to make one.
I'm happy to make a nomination.
Please.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Lorraine for chair.
Okay. Comments? Otherwise, we'll go to doing a motion, followed by a second, and then a roll call. Okay. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
I'll second that.
You got everyone.
Okay, Cookie, roll call, please.
Commissioner Rowinski.
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Aye.
Commissioner Lorraine.
Yes.
Commissioner Narita.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Yes.
The motion passes 5-0.
Great. Congratulations, Commissioner Lorraine.
Adam Lorraine.
Okay.
Thank you.
And our next, we'll move in and elect our vice chair. Commissioners, do I have a nomination? Otherwise, I'd be glad to make one.
Chair, I have a nomination.
Please.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Narita for vice chair.
Okay. Thank you. Hearing that nomination, any comments? Otherwise, I'll move into our first motion.
Put me in the hot seat.
If she's willing to do it.
Three commissions in.
Oh, I think you've got a lot of experience. Yeah. So do I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, a second, please.
Second.
Okay. Cookie, could we do a roll call vote?
Commissioner Rowinski,
Aye.
Commissioner Robbins,
Aye.
Commissioner Lorraine,
Yes.
Commissioner Narita,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Yes.
The motion passes 5-0. Commissioner Narita is our vice chair.
Great.
I appreciate the faith. Thank you,
Right.
everyone.
Yes. Commissioner Narita, you present across city councils and governments of all sizes and shapes through the country. So we have total confidence in your ability to serve as vice chair in the event. It's in the event that our chair is needing is absent. So with that, congratulations. And on that, this is my last meeting as chair. It's been my honor to serve the city of San Mateo and my fellow commissioners. Commissioner Lorraine, the rest of the meeting is yours. Thank you.
Okay, well, I believe that means we can continue on to the next item, and that would be consent calendar, commission regular meeting minutes approval. So I'd like to ask my fellow commissioners whether anyone has any comments related to the minutes. And if not, I would entertain a motion.
I move to make the first motion.
Is this to approve the minutes?
Yes.
Very good. Do I have a second for this?
Second.
Excellent. Cookie, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Rowinski,
Aye.
Commissioner Robbins,
Aye.
Chair Lorraine,
Yes.
Commissioner Narita,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Yes.
The motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, everybody. This would conclude that item, and we can move ahead to the next item on the agenda, which is new business. Item number 3, electric leaf blower rebate pilot program. We have a staff presentation from Ms. Andrea Chow.
Forgive me, Adam.
Yeah.
I know it's been a couple years since
sorry.
I've been chair, but
No, I managed to
I
mess
do
up
we
already.
have public comment.
Thank you very
We
much.
at least have to
Yep.
ask.
Yep. Public comment for items not on the agenda.
Indeed. Thank you very much. And, you know, I swear, I always wondered how it was that people managed to miss something as simple as that. And yet here we are. So now I know, and knowing's half the battle. But indeed, I want to thank Commissioner Robbins, and let us go to public comment. As Commissioner Rowinski mentioned just earlier in this meeting, each person has the ability to use one of the two remote options to give a public comment. You'll have 3 minutes. Cookie, do we have any raised hands or people calling in for public comment at this time?
Yes, we have Drew. And Drew, you are unmuted.
Good evening. So I just wanted to pass along a thank you to Public Works. Last commission meeting, there was one of the items I had made in a public comment was just like emailing out meetings notices or something about meetings and not just be on social media. And I think it was yesterday, there was an email out to, I'm sure, some appropriate alias that talked about some upcoming Public Works meetings in the month of June. And it was just, it was great. One place doesn't need to be fancy and no complaints. I just wanted to say thank you very much because I had heard about like the 28th Avenue meeting, but I didn't know any of the details other than sometime in June. So thank you to the appropriate people.
Thank you, Drew.
I have Dave Clark. And
And this
Dave,
is item 3 on the leaf blowers, is that correct?
Well, we do have a leaf blower item after this. So if your comment is about the leaf blower rebate program item, please hold your comment until then.
Okay.
Thank you.
that's all I have for public comment.
Very good. In that case, I will close public comment.
Well,
Unless Dave has a different comment about something other than leaf blowers. Did we lose Dave Cookie?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Well, I thought I heard, but it sounds like hopefully that was just not getting on mute after what just transpired. So I suppose we'll move on. And Dave, if you have a comment about leaf blowers and need to say something else, perhaps we can address it at that time. So let's move ahead. I will close public comment for the items not on the agenda and move ahead to item 3, as I described previously. And please proceed, Ms. Andrea Chow. Thank you.
Great. Give me one moment. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Andrea Chow, and I am the Sustainability Analyst with the City Manager's Office. Tonight, my presentation will focus on electric leaf blower rebate program. Okay. So a little bit of background. Off-road equipment accounts for 8% of community-wide greenhouse gas emissions. And when I say off-road equipment, I mean all the use of portable equipment and vehicles that do not travel on roads. So this includes construction equipment, lawn and garden equipment, and today I'm going to specifically discuss an incentive program to encourage the use of electric leaf blowers. You might remember at the November 2020 Sustainability and Infrastructure Commission, staff brought forward a report reviewing different policy options to address gas leaf blower use in the community. The Commission did not recommend that staff move forward with any policy action or mandate, but instead it recommended that staff focus on incentives. So in response to that feedback, staff have been working on the development of an electric leaf blower rebate program. So staff researched a variety of electric leaf blower rebate programs in other jurisdictions to start to identify best practices and common strategies and approaches. There are a number of voucher type programs that are administered by regional air district agencies. However, staff found that electric leaf blower rebate programs administered by cities seem to be the most relevant and applicable to the city. Currently, the Bay Area Air Quality Management District, otherwise known as BACMed, the air district applicable to San Mateo, does not offer any vouchers or incentives for electric leaf blowers or any types of lawn and garden equipment. Their most recent lawn mower exchange program seems to be closed, and there were no other updates on future funding for that program. So this slide really focuses on the 4 electric leaf blower rebate programs administered by cities and kind of captures the main elements of each of those programs. I think it was helpful to see that cities took an approach that applied a percentage maximum for a rebate, roughly between 40 and 50%. And on top of that, the rebates seem to range from $100 to $250. And then the eligibility column highlights that most programs seem to provide rebates to both residents and commercial operators. So these are just the example programs I wanted to show before we kind of launch into a discussion of what a pilot program could look like in the city of San Mateo. So in developing a rebate program, I first wanted to discuss and hear feedback with you guys on the possible rebate amounts. So let's just talk a little bit about the cost of an electric leaf blower. On the residential scale, there seems to be very competitive prices between the gas model and the electric alternative. For the residential scale, there's electric cord-powered leaf blowers where you have to plug in, and those seem to range between $30 and just over $100. And then there's battery-powered electric leaf blowers, so you're not plugged in. You rely on a battery, and those tend to cost between $150 and $300. The cost of the commercial leaf blowers seem to vary more greatly. And when I say commercial, I think we work under the assumption that a commercial operator must use an electric backpack leaf blower that is cordless, because they can't plug into they can't necessarily depend on a site that has access to plugging in. So the equipment seemed to range from $300 to over $1,000, and that estimate includes the equipment and one battery. I think we also need to consider that a leaf blower battery roughly lasts 2 hours, so you might consider a landscaper would need to purchase additional batteries and chargers. So just for reference, batteries cost between $200 and $600, and chargers cost between $40 and $60. So based on these kind of varied costs of leaf blower equipment, and because of what other cities seem to have done, staff recommends providing a different rebate amount for residential versus commercial operators. And this is also because commercial operators appear to be the primary users of leaf blowers in the community. So we hope by targeting commercial operators, we're also targeting, the operators that handle multiple properties. We also hope that this program might have a larger impact if we're, having that kind of reach with commercial operators. And then again, by focusing on commercial operators that are impacting more properties, hopefully having a bigger impact in terms of the noise and emissions. So staff put together 2 pricing options to consider, but we're definitely open to all the feedback from the commission, but I'll just read through the options we put together. So option 1 is providing residents with a maximum 50% of the purchase price with a maximum of $100. And then for commercial operators, also offering 50% of the purchase price with a maximum of $500. And then for option 2, we considered or are proposing a residential rebate kind of at that same rate, but then for commercial operators, considering just covering more of that purchase price to maximize the funds that a commercial operator would receive. So this slide captures kind of other pilot program considerations that we had developed. So in terms of what's eligible under the rebate program, as I mentioned on the previous slide, electric leaf blowers, especially if they're not plugged into the wall, require other types of equipment. So we want to cover those costs as well, because you cannot use a cordless battery-powered leaf blower without the associated battery and charger. So those would be considered eligible expenses under the program. And then when it comes to eligibility and verifying how you participate in the program, we are thinking of relying on residents showing their local utility bill to provide that verification. And then for commercial operators, they would have to present a current San Mateo business license to show eligibility. So every year the sustainability budget has some budget to spend on different types of programs. So we're thinking of starting with $5,000. Depending on the uptake of the program, staff can increase the budget for the program, and it could easily be accommodated with the sustainability budget. And this wouldn't require commission action necessarily. We just wanted to share kind of what we're thinking with the scope of the program. And then finally, in terms of program launch, we would love to launch this program, after getting your feedback this summer, and then run this program through the end of the year and kind of assess from there. And that concludes my presentation. So I welcome your questions, and the action tonight is really to provide a lot of feedback and direction on the program.
Thank you for that presentation, Andrea. At this time, I think I'd like to ask the commissioners if they have questions on this item. Commissioner Rowinski. Oh, I apologize. It would probably make sense to ask for hands, but I did see Commissioner Robbins raise his hand in real life through Zoom. So we got hands everywhere. All right. Well, let's start with Commissioner Robbins, please.
Great. Thank you, Adam. One preliminary question: can staff put this pilot in place, or do you have to go to get approval from the council?
Staff can move forward with putting this pilot in place.
Okay. Is there a dollar limit? How far you can go?
Since we have the sustainability program budget, that's within our control to move forward with the launch.
Okay. No, that's good. The infamous Dogs in Park pilot program years ago on the Park Commission, City Council wanted nothing to do with it, and we determined that staff could do it, and we did. Do you have a sense of success? You gave several examples of the churn, the turnover. Any sense of the effectiveness given the dollar amounts on some of these other cities, Encinitas, all these, Redwood City and Portola Valley. I guess really Portola and Encinitas were the ones that I think made the most sense. Well, Palm Springs, but they're a different kettle of fish because they include commercial operators. Do we have a sense of their success? Did they run through their budget? Did a lot of people jump up?
So I think that's a great question. The city of Encinitas and town of Portola Valley are running this leaf blower rebate program in conjunction with a gas leaf blower ban. So it's really difficult to compare that metric since they have this, it's an incentive program, but it's accompanied by a mandate that was going to go into place later. So I know, for example, I talked to Portola Valley. I know they had 40 people participate in their program so far.
Okay. I'll reserve to comment, but I think this is great. But absent corresponding mandate or one looming, I kind of wonder how effective it would be. But pilot programs, sometimes work, sometimes don't. Thank you, Andrea. That's it. Adam, back to you.
Very good. Well, as I saw her raise her hand, I'd like to go to Commissioner Rowinski next.
Okay. I'll just piggyback a little bit off of Commissioner Robbins' question on success. In the packet that was sent to us, Andrea, it mentioned staff is allocating $5,000 from the sustainability program to budget for the pilot. And if the pilot is successful, additional funds could be budgeted. How is the city going to define success? You mentioned Portola Valley has got a mandate, so that's not really relevant to our situation. We don't. A mandate on banning gas powered leaf blowers. So do you have any thoughts on how we're going to measure success?
Yeah, so to expand on that, I wanted to, so basically, if we run through that whole budget immediately, then I want to express that there's room in the sustainability budget to allocate further funding. But I think one of the great advantages of a pilot program is that we can be flexible. And so we can respond to, if this rebate amount isn't working, or maybe it's not just the rebate, maybe the rebate isn't enough to incentivize this change, then I think we can be responsive to that if we haven't heard from anyone in 6 months. But a lot of it is, launching a program and testing it.
Right. Yeah. And I think you bring up a good point. If we're not getting if you're not getting utilization, what is the reason? I personally think, by the way, and I'll put this in my comments, that the rebate for the commercial users is too low. And I'll finish up with comment on that. And let me share with you, if we talk about success, there's a couple of things that came to my mind here. is in order to be eligible, you mentioned that residents need to submit a local utility bill and gardeners and landscape their current business license. How is that going to be done and who does it go to? And the reason for my question here is I want to make this as easy as possible. For example, can these documents be submitted electronically?
I think the simple answer is definitely yes. We would allow an electronic submittal, but administratively, the program would be run through me, essentially, so through our city manager's office.
Right. So would these, if somebody has to trug down to City Hall and hand it, give it to city, yourself or whoever, or have to put it in the mail, I think that just adds more burden. So if you put in a system where these documents can be sent to you electronically, both from, as well as if people want to drop it off in person or mail, but I think the electronic could help facilitate success.
Yeah, I think that's great feedback. I think we'd have to allow for an in-person or mail option if desired,
Right.
But things are able to be processed very quickly through email.
Yeah, and that's how I think most people can do it. Here's another question I have. Once again, trying to enhance the probability of success but sooner than later is how would you publicize this program? And let me share with you the genesis of this question is I had read from Mike Callaghy, he is our county manager, that the county has a program of rental assistance. And it was kicked off in January of 2020. And as of May 2021, 1% of that budget has been utilized for rental assistance. And it's probably a fabulous program no one knows about. And I think local and county governments, even state, have very good programs residents, citizens don't know of. And so I just want to avoid, the question is how do we get the word out? I suggested easy facilitation of eligibility documents for you to make a decision or whoever making that decision. But public, the fact based on that 1% of rental assistance being utilized in roughly 16, 17 months, we don't want to fall into that. So what's your thought on publication or a way to facilitate knowledge of this program? Particularly to gardeners too. I think there are real interest in gardeners and landscapers.
Yeah, so right now the one main direct form of contact that I can do to our commercial operators is do a mailer to the landscapers that currently hold a business license with the city of San Mateo. So I know that might not be every landscaper who works in San Mateo, and so this will be as residents are also eligible for the leaf blower rebate program, this would also be broadcasted quite widely on our online channels. And then thinking a little bit of a step further, I was hoping to create materials that residents could use to give to their landscaper to encourage them to participate. So kind of relying on those channels to reach that audience. But I think it will be challenging to reach all our commercial operators who work in San Mateo.
Sure, and I think your idea about working through those that are registered, have a current business license is really your smartest portal. They'll get the word out to their colleagues, and maybe you do 2 or 3 mailers. Something to think about. One last question here, and then I'll yield. In fact, I got questions a couple of days ago today on 2 items as it relates to leaf blowers, and I'm going to assume that they're applicable to electric leaf blowers. That is, in the city code, hours of operation, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturday, 9 to 5, and no operation Sundays and holidays. I'm assuming electric leaf blowers would fall underneath that. And also, too, there's noise limits. For example, between 7 and 10 p.m., 60 decibels for roughly 15 minutes of use in a single hour. And once again, these two, what I'll call mandates are outlined in our city code. and I'm assuming that the electric leaf blowers would be held accountable to this code. But the question is, if a resident has who could the resident call, for example, if a leaf blower is operating on a Monday after 5 p.m.?
Yeah,
Who enforces that, if anyone, by the way?
Yeah, that would be a violation of the Muni Code, so that would be enforced by code enforcement.
And is that code enforcement in community development or public works?
Community development.
Okay, so this is the noise and the hours of operation are enforced by community development. Okay, good. That's important to know. I get that question. Like I said, it came up a couple of times in the last few days. Okay, thank you.
Just to confirm, electric leaf blowers would be subject to the same regulations in the leaf blower ordinance. It is not distinguished about fuel type. It's
right
about the equipment itself.
Yeah, and I wanted to confirm that hours of operation and noise do include all leaf blowers, regardless of power. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Reyes, any questions?
I do have some comments, but I'll hold it after public comment.
Okay, great. Commissioner Narita?
Thank you. I have several. Thank you so much, Andrea, for your work on this. Really appreciate it. Just some basic questions because of my own ignorance. When a gardener or landscaper has a San Mateo business license, does that mean that they're headquartered in San Mateo, or they just have the permission to operate in San Mateo?
That they do work in San Mateo.
Okay, but not necessarily headquartered.
No.
Okay, great. And then I have a couple questions about maybe further details from the other jurisdictions. In thinking about the balance of residential and commercial incentive and rebates, was there any kind of distribution that those other jurisdictions used with the pool of money, like 80% goes to commercial, 20% goes to residential, or was it more of a first come, first serve basis?
I didn't see that level of detail regarding how that budget was allocated. So I'm not sure. I do know, since I had a conversation with Portola Valley, that mostly residents were taking advantage of their program to date.
Got it. And thank you. And then were there any jurisdictions that contemplated a commercial operator only incentive?
Not from my research of the city programs, although it looked like because I looked more broadly at the air district programs, and those seemed more targeted at commercial operators. That helps.
Thanks. And then lastly, on the other jurisdictional pieces, but I still have a couple other questions. In any of the other jurisdictional policies, was there any conversation or discussion in the materials that you reviewed around equity, particularly, how to make sure that those operators, for instance, who need it most are prioritized in the incentive program pilot? Maybe smaller businesses or some such versus larger businesses. Any discussions or contemplations on that?
No, I looked at all of the materials I could, and I don't think there was a specific discussion in the city examples regarding equity.
Okay, thanks. Couple more, sorry, but I did write them out, so I'm prepared. Mathematically, when we think about the electric leaf blower, and given the battery charging nature of them and whatnot, do we know how long it takes to actually recharge an exhausted electric leaf blower? I'm just trying to think in my head, given all the numbers you gave, how much would a commercial operator be expected to kind of be able to handle in a day's work?
That's a great question. I'm sure it varies a lot by the product, and I don't want to throw out a number because I really don't know the answer to that. The rough estimate that I already provided is that typically the battery-powered leaf blowers will last for 2 hours. But yeah, I am unsure of, once that battery is empty, the timing it takes to charge up. Yeah.
Got it. And then in the incentive in the incentive, when we talk about the 500 limit for the commercial operators, I remember that you had in the presentation you had a chart, and so it would go to the first leaf blower, the first battery, and the first charger, or would it be available for like a whole package? And would it be that, and would it have to be that the commercial operator is switching from gas, like fully gas to fully electric, or is it like if they had one electric and then they've it's been in the back burner because it doesn't work because they only got one, they could buy another one and it actually would be really helpful. You know what I mean? Like, what is, in terms of the target audience, is it only commercial operators who would be switching from gas to electric, or for those that don't have an electric leaf blower already?
So the rebate program will rebate anyone who is buying with a receipt a new electric leaf blower and the associated equipment. To get at your first question, hopefully I'm answering this correctly. The pricing that I talked through would provide 50% or 75% of that purchase cost up to a certain maximum. I'm unsure of what you meant by like what is prioritized first. I think it just, what we would do is look at the lump sum of the cost of all the equipment and provide whatever maximum we could to the commercial operator.
Okay, awesome. And then lastly, on any kind of materials about this program in a public outreach setting, would you have discretion to be able to provide all of those materials in multiple languages?
Yeah, I think that would, have to be a component of the program, is providing the materials in multiple languages.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's all my questions. Appreciate your patience.
Thank you very much. I have a couple of questions myself. One is about the difference between the options. Given, I'm sorry, I see Commissioner Reyes has his hand raised. I can wait. Let's go to Commissioner Reyes for questions.
Thank you. I did have a question come to mind. Andrea, thank you for pulling this together. We last discussed this item in November, and at the time, we talked about a variety of policy options. There was some discussion about what other cities are doing, such as Burlingame with the zones, which was interesting to me at least. I'm curious if there's been any further investigation of that and consideration about whether or not that might be something the city might explore down the road, because obviously tying something like that to an incentive program is more likely to drive adoption.
So at the time in November, the feedback from the commission as a whole was to really focus on voluntary efforts and incentives. So the main outcome, based on the feedback from the meeting, was not focusing on like a Burlingame policy mandate type approach, but more towards incentives and outreach.
Thank you. And with regards to the incentives, this topic has been engaged on a number of times over the last several years, and I'm wondering if we have a list of landscapers that could be a starting point for outreach based on those engagements and that have already happened in the public process.
I do have a lot of resources that date back several years. So yeah, that is something I can look to, but I am really kind of hoping and relying on our most recent business tax license, since that is where our businesses are able to provide their most current information. Yeah.
Another thing to consider in terms of outreach might be outreach to businesses that are hiring landscapers that are based and where the businesses are in residential neighborhoods. And so they're the ones who are probably in a pretty good position to notify their landscapers to consider these to reduce their local impacts, because it wouldn't surprise me if they get complaints from local residents. And so that could be a vehicle.
Great, thank you.
That's it.
Thank you. So I did have a question about the thinking through the different options here for effectively what we could offer to. Oh, I see Commissioner Nowinski has her hand raised. So I'll defer again to Commissioner Nowinski for questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Lorraine. A question I had here, Andrea, I'm sorry, but how would you, what's the process, or how would you confirm that a resident or a commercial operator has purchased an electric leaf blower? How does that work? They have to show eligibility. That's very clear. Do they show a receipt to you? What's that process?
Yes, we would rely on the applicant submitting a receipt of their purchase.
And then at that point, do you give them the rebate, or where in the process is the rebate? And I'm assuming they get, what is the rebate? Is it a check from the city? Yeah,
so the applicant would submit an application. Again, this can be done electronically or in person or by mail. And so it's similar to what we would do if we had to process like the rain barrel rebates on our own. So they submit an application, which, we would design with like the required elements. They would submit their eligibility. So, a copy of the utility bill or their commercial landscaping or their business tax license. And then thirdly, they would submit the receipt of their purchase.
Okay, so they would have to purchase first and then get the rebate.
Yeah, so the rebate structure would require the applicant to make that purchase beforehand before getting rebated by the city. Sure.
Okay, so if let's say you hit the $5,000 limit and somebody submits to you a valid application, verification, and receipt, what do you do then?
And I think that's what I tried to explain about kind of the budget cap that we have suggested, about $5,000. Just we have additional budget, within the sustainability budget to accommodate additional applications.
Okay, great, thanks. Thank you, Commissioner Lorraine.
Sure, I'm just going to pause and see if any commissioners have further questions. So please feel free to raise your hand. Great hand raising. So I commend you for that. And seeing none, I will continue with a question about the options. So my current feeling about these two is that given that it seems the overall capital outlay for commercial operators will surely exceed $500 quite a bit. It seems to me that in most cases, probably either option will allow qualifying operators to receive up to $500 if they so chose. So given that, Andrea, am I missing anything, or do you have anything you'd like to add about what distinguishes the two choices and how what I might want to consider as we consider these options?
So in putting together, the options, I looked to these examples that were in other cities, and then I also kind of considered, our own research that we had done in preparation for the November meeting on the actual cost of this equipment. So we suggested a $500 max, which is greater than what's been done in other cities. So we're definitely aiming to motivate and incentivize this voluntary switch to an electric leaf blower. And then I think the other consideration is, that percentage, the maximum percentage, and this is, very typical of how rebates are structured, is they usually give you, to a percentage max just to incentivize that switch to a new technology. So, but, we're definitely looking for your feedback. We had suggested, 50% or even 75%, just covering more of that purchase price to move to really move that needle towards electric.
Well, sure, but I guess let's say given the figures you have in your report here, for example, if an operator were to buy, one electric leaf blower backpack ranging between 300 to 1,100, and then at least a battery or two and a charger or two, we're going to be at the point where whether we gave someone 50% of a purchase, whether we ask someone to effectively put up 50% or 25%, either way, someone I think could qualify for up to $500 without a lot of trouble. So, I mean, does that sound right to you?
Yes. So I think, yes, because of the electric equipment and the associated equipment costs are expensive, $500 is would be easily used or maxed.
Right. So given that, I mean, are there other considerations as to why I would want to choose option 2 over option 1 that you can think of?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I guess, in the event that a commercial operator is really able to get something cheaper, then they'll still get, they'll be able to maximize their savings on the equipment purchase. But I'm open to and I'm looking for a discussion and feedback on whether or not this whole rebate program should be higher.
Sounds fine. Okay. Very good. I did have a couple of quick questions about business licenses that I hope you'll indulge me on. So if an operator does not have a business license in the city, does it seem to you that there may be an opportunity for that operator to apply for a business license within a time frame that would allow that applicant to qualify for this program if they so chose?
We definitely would hope so. I think the language I was intending to use is active business tax license, so they would be able to submit that, show that they're active, and then submit for a rebate.
And I'm just curious about how much it costs to apply for one, and how much whether that seems like a likely scenario to you.
So I had looked into the cost of the average business tax license cost that our commercial landscape gardeners are paying. So we have about just over 100 registered, and it looks like the majority are paying a $25 or $30 fee.
Okay. And I wondered if these operators who do have the licenses, do they likely have licenses in other cities in the county as well?
I'm not sure.
I guess is it if one were to have a business that provided service in San Mateo and Redwood City, for example, would you expect that business to have a business license in both cities?
Yeah, yes.
If everything were on the up and up, just as a hypothetical, I guess what I'm getting at is, when I think of this offer, I wonder about potentials for partnerships and growing the opportunity to help subsidize this really kind of larger cost for commercial operators to make a big switch. We talked a little in full disclosure. I asked Andrea a question offline about potential partnership opportunities with some organizations such as Peninsula Clean Energy and other sort of like Bayren and other organizations sort of within our region that offer programs in a similar vein, and at the time, I think it seems that these groups may not currently have plans for such programs. But I wondered about whether there might be an opportunity to partner with other cities in the county on this. such that, with the thinking that, like, if Redwood City, which is currently already piloting a residential program, wanted to pilot something like a commercial program, and thereby, giving a commercial operator the opportunity to get another rebate on what might be a big capital outlay. Does that sound like a possibility?
So it sounds like your question is more about partnerships with other cities to, expand the budget for.
Yeah, I think because I guess if someone were to spend $2,000 or $3,000 on this equipment to make a switch, because I think I'm going to guess that we're likely talking about more than one leaf blower per commercial operator, and all the equipment. I think I'm not necessarily suggesting that we do like a bunch. I guess I'm thinking that if another city in the county were interested in this item the way we are, might it be useful for us to adopt this, and then if they were to adopt it afterward, would we both potentially benefit commercial operators, and would commercial operators be able to it seems like we may be able to add have the power of addition through other cities doing something similar.
Great. Yeah. Well, I think we're fortunate that we live in a very collaborative community where our cities are all talking to each other. So this is definitely something I can keep in mind and connect with our neighboring sustainability experts on, and see if they have looked into this or are interested in pursuing this type of program.
Very good. Okay, those are my questions. Thank you for indulging me on those. And at this point, I'd like to open up public comment. So if I'm going to test this just because this is my first time going through the script, and I would like to maybe repeat the options available to people remotely. You can join the Zoom meet. If you're in the Zoom meeting right now with us, you can click on the raise hand you typically on your bottom bar to let the clerk know that you would like to speak, and you can have up to 3 minutes to comment. Or you can phone, if you're on the phone, you would press *9 to effectively raise your hand. So this is the time to do that. And at this time, Cookie, do we have public commenters?
Dave Clark, you are now able to speak.
Okay, learning the ropes here. So let's see, I've been following this for over a decade. I stood out in front of Whole Foods and got signatures, and it's a quality of life issue. It's noise, pollutants, soil health, environmental damage, and the gardener's health. But I think for most of us, it's just noise. There are some really good points here. One of them that I keep coming up with is, what do we do about enforcement? Because I don't think the other cities are really enforcing it. I called a local retailer that sells this equipment, and I talked to a couple of gardeners. So this is kind of what I found. First off, we moved here in the 90s. There were no leaf blowers, or only rakes. Leaf blowers are not a necessity. Gardeners don't need to use the leaf blowers as much. They really, really only need them in flat surfaces like concrete. So we should consider training and education. I guess I could say make rakes great again. It may raise the price of services if it takes a little longer, but I don't think a one-for-one replacement of leaf blowers is necessarily a desirable goal. We're over-mechanized, and we should keep the dialogue on that reality. Hopefully, this would result in fewer leaf blowers, not just replacing one for the other. I also feel there should be a second point here, is they should be commercial only. The gardeners are still hurting from COVID. Residential blowers are not really the problem. We can buy leaf blowers. If we're going to help anybody, we should help the gardeners. So that leads to the fact that there's an enormous difference between residential light usage and commercial heavy duty usage blowers. And so I talked to Single Cylinder, who sells these things, and they recommend two brands, Still and Greenworks. The price is about $1,600 out the door, and that'll give you 2 hours. So the numbers we're talking about here are just not anywhere near the reality of what a typical gardener might have, a couple of leaf blowers on a truck. That leads me to conclude that maybe we could look at a leaf blower tax. I mean, $5,000 won't go far, but $10 a household, we could probably raise $250,000. Is there any way we could do that? It's the residents that are complaining that want the changes, and maybe we should pay a small fee. And really cool technology, 80-volt DC brushless motors. These backpacks and stuff they're wearing are very futuristic. So in that way, it's pretty impressive. And that's it for Dave.
Thank you.
I have Pam. You can now speak. Pam?
You've unmuted me.
Okay, sorry. I had to wait for the mute button to tell me to unmute myself. So just thank you, commissioners, for your service. And thank you, Ms. Chow, for your research. Just to reiterate what Dave was saying, I support rakes on top of any kind of leaf blower. Electric leaf blowers come in different sizes and they have different decibel levels. So if there is any kind of rebate program, it would be nice to specify what type of electric blower that goes for. And if they're just as powerful and as noisy as the gas ones, then what are we doing it for? And also, it seems like it's a very small amount of money to make this a successful program. It would not rebate very many electric leaf blowers, just $5,000. What I would like to see instead is a lot more education and outreach, educating the gardeners, the landscape firms, and the residents of the damage that any type of blower, leaf blower, gas or electric, does to the soil. It takes off the top layer of soil. If you have a little bit of leaf litter on the soil, it's not a bad thing. It's better for the soil. It makes it better in times of drought. It makes it healthier soil. I was watching a leaf blower this morning outside of my window. He was blowing straight into a bush. If there's any kind of beneficial insect in there, I don't care if it's electric or gas, it's going to be blown away. And that goes for the monarch butterflies and the other beneficial insects that we love. So just doing a swap of gas for electric without any kind of education and outreach about the ecology and the ecological damage that these are causing, and also regulating what strength of electric leaf blower it is, I think really is a necessity here. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Carol Steinfeld.
Hi, it's Carol Steinfeld. I moved here from New England, by the way, which has a lot more leaves and a lot less leaf blower use. I'm glad this issue was agendized in the form I requested in September, which was for the non-ban tactics, since the city staff deemed a ban to be politically unfeasible and functionally difficult. But the November presentation didn't mention the Palo Alto ban. Another aside, where I live, I requested halting the use of the leaf blowers, and ultimately the firm chose on its own to switch to an electric leaf blower, and that's even though spot use of a rake and broom would have worked, but I'm okay with the electric leaf blower. Also, as I mentioned before, a Santa Cruz landscape firm, you can look up on the web, Ken Foster, showed how avoiding gas leaf blowers is actually more profitable for landscape maintenance crews by doing away with the expense associated with those. He posits that rakes and brooms work for most clients, and he wrote up this rationale in Spanish for posting, for passing out to the vendors. But remember that the city staff's 2018 proposal, which I just emailed to you again, to the Sustainability Commission included a lot of outreach, included outreach points, and included in that well, let me go back. A lot of folks just don't know that avoiding these, the use of the leaf blowers has value in many ways. So simply including mention of the polluting aspects in city messaging could help. Let's also remember the Bay Area Air Quality Organizations, I've forgotten their acronym, BAAQMD, has a roadshow whereby they show the various electric leaf blowers. And we could also perhaps organize bulk buying of leaf blowers. We call that market transformation. At the same time, the civic group started a registry of non-gas leaf blower crews. The city could link to that, maybe build on it, might not want to get into that, but at least link to it. And the 2018 presentation also suggested requiring outdoor outlets. So the electric leaf blowers don't have to rely on a charged battery. And again, the city itself needs to encourage use by its vendors. The story that it requires more time to clear MLK field is not relevant. No one's questioning whether our other switch outs are more efficient. Thanks.
Thank you.
I don't show any more speakers.
Okay. Thank you, Cookie. And thank you to the public. I will close public comment and bring it back to the commission for comments. We can start with Commissioner Narita if she has any.
All right, technical difficulties. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. So again, thank you so much, Andrea, for your presentation and for soliciting feedback. Couple things that I'm holding in my mind on this is the story of, I think you were saying Portola Valley had a lot of uptake on the residential side. And if our main concern is commercial, just being mindful of ensuring that the pilot is designed to capture the stakeholders that we want to reach the most. And so I don't know if that's, a ceiling on how much of an incentive the residential program part of it gets or some other program design, but I'm really mindful of that story and that it seems overwhelmingly that we want to ensure the commercial operators are the ones that are receiving the incentive. So I still remain a little curious as to, if a commercial only is feasible, politically or logistically or whatnot. And if it's not, and if a residential feature is necessary for some reason that I haven't quite heard yet, if there's some sort of ceiling that could be placed on that to ensure the pool of funding goes to the biggest target, which I think are the commercial operators.
If I may, I wanted to provide one comment because I did, want to contrast that Portola Valley and Encinitas, for example, had accompanying mandates. So, with this program, it's completely voluntary. So I think we would be really, really excited and thrilled to get an overwhelming number of applications. So I just wanted to share at least that piece, but I do appreciate that feedback on the residential versus commercial.
Yeah, I think I would define success, going back to Commissioner Rubenstein's comment, I personally would define success as an overwhelming number of commercial operator applicants.
Right.
Given just the scope and scale and degree of use in that sector of users. Whereas for residents, you may use your leaf blower every week if you're lucky, or every 2 weeks or a month if you're not super up on your landscaping. So that's, I think, the kind of consideration that I'm holding.
And then if the direction were from, it sounds like part of your recommendation is we could do a commercial only program as well.
I would be very open to that. I don't know why other cities did residents and commercial other than what you're saying with the mandate part, but given the target audience, it seems to line up more. But yeah, I'm mindful. Maybe there are gardeners and landscapers who use the residential equipment or something. I don't know the practices necessarily. The other thing is kind of thinking about the total maximum rebate amount. It maxes out at 500 now. I agree that's incredibly, generous given the comparisons to the other cities, but I am mindful from the public comment about the cost of the electric leaf blowers, and from just doing a little bit of math. If someone needed to buy one electric leaf blower, and let's just be conservative, 2 batteries and therefore 2 chargers, that adds up to $780 to $2,520, given the numbers in your report. And I don't know how much money landscapers and gardeners make per se, but it does seem on the high end that's quite high to then switch out, having potentially a $2,000 or $1,500 outlay is a lot to ask for, even with the incentive program. So I would be open to exploring something a little higher. I don't have any sort of magic number in mind, but maybe it's something like we start here and see how much uptake there is, and if it's just not quite working, we can iterate on it accordingly. But I'm just really mindful of that in terms of equity. We want to ensure that those who need the incentives the most use it, and I just don't know if we would hit those most disadvantaged with this incentive level. And those are the comments I'm holding. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Reyes, any comments?
Thank you. I would echo all of Commissioner Narita's comments. So it seems to me, I also agree that commercially focused program would likely be more relevant and impactful. One of the questions that was raised, Andrea, in your slides is the percentage question. 50% or 75%. I'm actually realizing now I'm a little bit unclear what that percentage actually applies to. So if we're talking, the total cost of everything that's needed, then both of those are going to probably be under what the total cost is, right? Since if you add in a couple batteries and the charging equipment, right, and you're dealing with cordless systems. But in any case, my recommendation would be to apply that, maybe consider, going out the door with a certain level, but then be willing to raise that if you're not getting traction, right? As a pilot, you want to figure out like what incentive level is relevant. And I think in the absence of a mandate, it's likely to be low, the uptake. And so you might need to test another incentive level, would be my expectation.
Thank you. Commissioner Rowinski?
Sure. Some of my feedback to really make this successful is, and let me just focus in on option 2. I would keep the residents in, and I would keep the 50% $100 rebate. However, I would really incentivize the commercial operators. And how would I do that? I think the maximum rebate of $500 is too low. In fact, I would start at $1,000. And if you're getting a lot of success, then you can figure out what to do at that point in time. Additional funding, maybe the rebate needs to be readjusted. So I would go out strong with a strong rebate number versus a higher rebate number versus a lower rebate number. And I think you understand my logic in that respect. In terms of publicizing this, I think you mentioned mailers. and I mentioned earlier, I would do multiple mailers over the course of the program. They're pretty inexpensive, and you've got a captive. Once again, they're already eligible by just simply having a license in our city. I like Commissioner Lorraine's idea that could maybe be incorporated, maybe not so much in this pilot, but down the line, if we can coordinate with cities, and therefore maybe more electric leaf blowers could be purchased. Let's see. I think that is, and then I talked about the need to make the application process easy and seamless and fast. Electronic, in-person, mail. But I think my big takeaway is publication to our registered landscapers and increasing that dollar amount from 500 to 1,000. And ease of application.
Thank you. Commissioner Robbins.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Andrea, for all the work you've done here. I am a big fan of this. I actually support your option 2 as a pilot. People may recall, was it November? I was in favor of phasing out gas totally with a mandate. I was outvoted on that. But just so everybody knows where I stand, I still think we should be doing that. I think you should, I support the proposal option 2 as you've put it forward for a couple of reasons. I'll just, a little bit of color. I think we need to keep the residential piece in. It's minimal, but the alternative actually flies in the face of equity. We end up sort of giving a break to those homeowners who are who can afford, like me and probably many of us, but who can afford to pay gardeners to come and do the leaf blowers, as opposed to smaller homeowners and renters who don't have those resources but still want to clean up their property. So I would keep it as is. I do recognize, I think it was Adam's point, and it was a good one, that the percentages may actually not play out. There may turn out to be no difference between option 1 and 2 in terms of that 50 and 75 because of the cost of the equipment. But actually, as I understand how these things work, we might well have folks who buy the big equipment or already have it, but need to buy another battery or need to buy another charger. It's particularly it's multiple batteries is really what people need. So it may turn out that 75% figure does kick in, because instead of a $1,500 backpack, they're buying a $300 or $400 battery. Anyway, so I would keep it all the same. I also wouldn't get into the weeds too much more than that personally, because I think it's a pilot. I suspect that a higher dollar amount will be necessary, but I wouldn't do it right away because she's already, 10 applicants on the commercial side and the money's gone. So let's see how it works. I also think absent a mandate or an impending mandate with a phase out, I'm not sure how much impact it's going to have, but I hope to be proved wrong. So again, I'll just circle back and say, for the health of the operators, environmental impact, and the noise nuisance value, which is considerable, I think going from gas to electric, we're never going to get people to go back to brooms and rakes. It just isn't going to happen. So I think this is a good thing, and I applaud you, and I support it wholeheartedly. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. My comments would be that I'm certainly in favor of going ahead with this pilot program. I appreciate Andrea for putting this together and proposing this to us, giving us the opportunity to try this out. I am in favor of it. I think it's a good first step to help address the broader problem the city has with leaf blowers. I personally support rakes and brooms too. I do think if staff were to feature information about this on its website, which I believe is part of the plan in reaching out to residents about this program, perhaps there's an opportunity for just a little bit of text in the overall communication and information to mention this. Perhaps, for example, if we're discussing some of the issues, like why are we doing this? One reason is because the gas-powered leaf blowers are, have pollutants and they're loud, etc. And then perhaps, we could throw in, there's always an opportunity to look into non-leaf blower options when available. If the plot is small enough, etc., perhaps you can ask to opt into something a bit more environmentally friendly that doesn't damage the surrounding area as much. That said, another way you could reduce pollutants in the city of San Mateo is switching from gas to electric, and here's a rebate program available for you if you're so inclined. So that might be one way we could have our cake and eat it too, to some extent, with this. I agree with Commissioners Narita and most who mentioned that it's possible that these numbers may not necessarily hit the mark. Of course, it's a pilot. These were derived without extensive stakeholder research, and so I would just like staff to consider how to obtain some feedback and data with this program if we were to go ahead with the numbers we currently have. Just in the application process, for example, if there's an opportunity to obtain some methods of communication, email, phone number, address, or something, so that we could perhaps send a questionnaire or survey afterward to get a sense of like how close we were to the right numbers. Let's just do what we can to make sure this opportunity gives us some information on where, how close we are, so that if we were to continue it next year or something, we could tweak the numbers. I'm intrigued by the idea of potentially going with a higher maximum for commercial operators, given what we've been discussing about the overall capital outlay. I wouldn't be opposed to it personally. I think if we were to try $1,000 instead of $500, that I would be amenable to that personally. But I do think that if we were to do something like that, and really maybe in either case, even if we didn't do that, I actually find myself thinking that option one is a bit more interesting to me, because Commissioner Robbins mentioned option two provides the opportunity for people to invest in maybe smaller pieces of equipment, such as the battery and charger, and take advantage of this program. And to me, I guess when I think of the potential best purpose of the money, I sort of think the general hope is that we're getting residents and commercial operators to switch from gas to electric. And so that seems to me like if someone were to use buy something smaller because they already have it, but would like to supplement it, that it's fine, but maybe not the best purpose. So my thought would be maybe we could go up for 50%, and then hopefully those who are putting more money toward like a switch or a bigger capital outlay can take advantage of it. And indeed, especially if we were going to increase that cap for commercial to 1,000, then I would definitely want us to do 50% instead of 70, or at the very least, that would be my preference. I do also will just give a sort of comment to that. I believe this is definitely not the last time this commission will discuss leaf blowers, and I did notice that it appears that the California Air Resources Board, which whose goings on we discussed in our previous meeting, is still deliberating and working on proposals, but proposals that may include asking operators to buy only zero emissions equipment beginning as early as 2024. And so in a sense, beginning kind of a movement toward electric leaf blowers. And additionally, we saw the city of Oakland, of course, recently passed its own ban on gas leaf blowers. As Andrea mentioned, some of the cities we were looking at for their programs are also pursuing gas bans. So I believe that may be where we are headed. And so I look forward to future conversations a bit toward what Commissioner Reyes mentioned in some of his questions and comments that may allow us to take further steps. But for today, I am approving this and thank Andrea for the presentation and commissioners and public for the discussion. That said, I see that Commissioner Rowinski has her hand raised, so please go ahead.
Yeah, Andrea, just one other item that I think, once again, another opportunity here to consider. That is, when you're mailing back the rebate check to whoever, that in that packet, there is an outline of the hours of operation in our city, the noise level. Right now, it's 60 decibels for 15 minutes. Within a 60-hour period. 60 decibels is pretty low. And also, picking up on a point that Pam made, is maybe a simple flyer that really, these are really designed for gravel and other types of hardscapes, sidewalks, driveways, and just a reminder of what its proper use is, but particularly including city, hours of operation and the noise threshold, the code that we have in terms of noise maximums. Thank you.
Great. I think it's helpful to kind of summarize all of the outreach of the best practices and our existing regulations that will be accompanying this program. But before I took some notes, but I wanted to kind of try to summarize back what I felt I heard from the group in terms of feedback. I think the majority of the group leaned towards option 2, which I'll read out loud. So a residential rebate with a maximum 50% purchase price with a maximum rebate of $100, and the commercial option, which was 75% of the purchase price, the maximum $500 rebate. I think I heard a mix about going commercial only or versus keeping the residential component. I don't know. I think Adam might have had Commissioner Lorraine, you might be the tiebreaker in that.
Well, I do remember I didn't say anything about that, I don't think, but I would say I think I personally prefer that we have residential and commercial in it, both. And I think that the flexibility of the pilot should allow us fairly quickly to first of all allow either to participate if they so choose, and to get a sense of who we're serving, and that data can help us iterate with following funds.
Great, thank you for that feedback. And I think so maybe it makes sense, just based on the overall feedback from the group, to just start with option 2 as is, with the maximum rebate at $500. Unless there's a consensus to increase that number.
I'm looking around. I know Commissioner Rowinski was interested. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I would increase the rebate amount. Yeah.
I think everyone saw the examples. $1,000 is a very high rebate amount. That is much higher than the examples I had seen in other cities. But
the question is, we don't have a mandate here. And so, if we're going to incentivize the commercial operators and help those smaller businesses who are more cash strapped, this would be the way to do it. Look, I don't want to make this too complicated, but you could do it between 500 and 1,000 based on revenue. And you can get those revenue amounts from your business license. Because when you pay business licenses in the city of San Mateo, the amount you pay is based on your, I think it's gross income. It's not net, it's gross. So you might be a way to calibrate that, but not to make it too complicated. But yeah, I would go with a higher amount. I don't know how I think Commissioner Lorraine was also leaning towards that. I don't know how the others feel about that. But.
Yeah, perhaps we can take a quick poll. I do think I'm intrigued by the idea, but I also think that if in fact it was so popular and taken by commercial operators, the first 5,000 really would go to up to five operators potentially, and that while I think I am, after talking about it and thinking about it a little more, one thing I sort of remembered too is being excited at the possibility of other cities partnering and also potentially increasing impact by coming up with their own programs, and so I'm okay with going ahead with the $500 limit and seeing how it goes, and hopefully interacting with those who could apply for it to get a sense of whether it's enough or not, and then going from there and taking that cue as opposed to starting out higher. But given that, I can maybe ask people to raise their hands if they want to comment on that. I see Commissioner Narita has done so.
Thanks. So Andrea, just to clarify my top line comments, I would be open to an incentive higher than 500, somewhere between 500 and 1,000. Between that sounds fine. My main concern is in the program design. If despite all of this, we get 40 applicants, all from residents who are on a first come first served basis, and then that exhausts 4,000 of the 5,000 pool, which is not what this program is designed to do. So with retention of the residential program, and I was curious about commercial only, but I am fine with having the residents program in it as well. I do recommend some kind of ceiling on how much of the 5,000 the city plans to use for residents in order to create the space, because you have to do more outreach and education. Likely gardeners are not on social media or other places, like et cetera, like it might take a little bit of more time and energy. So ensuring that some funds are retained for that harder to reach audience, but that leads to more impact, would be my top line concern.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yeah, it's a pilot program, folks, and I think we're micromanaging a little bit. If we find out that 50 residents rush in, we might look up and say, isn't that great? We just got rid of 50 gas machines, converted them to 50 electric, though they're not the ones that are used as often as by commercial gardeners. So it's a pilot program. I've been involved with a couple of these over the years with the city in different areas. And I say, I caution against micromanaging. I think what Andrea has proposed is defensible, particularly given what other cities have done. I too think that more money will be needed to get, but I hope I'm proved wrong. And I certainly don't think it makes sense to do a $5,000 funded pool and give out 1/5 of it to the first 5 people. It just kind of makes the pilot, you don't get a decent amount of data from that. So I personally think we should go with option 2, and otherwise the way staff has proposed it, and you report back. We ask that you'd report back after it's implemented, and let's see how it goes. And then we may have to do some radical adjustments based on that data set, but we don't have it yet.
Thank you, Commissioner Roberts. I would agree. I'm on board, and so I effectively take away my bid for an increased maximum, and so I think unless Commissioner Reyes is especially interested in that, then it sounds like the majority may be, as you sort of noted, Andrea, with option 2 as you proposed it.
I would just note, I would echo Commissioner Narita's recommendation of a cap on residential. I think what we really need to learn is the commercial side, where it's technically and economically a very different scenario, and by far the overwhelming area where we're most challenged. So the most noise and the most pollution.
Commissioner Rowinski?
Sure. Yeah, if I'm hearing not much uptake on increasing the rebate, though Commissioner Rita and I, maybe between the 500 and 1,000. If the rebate isn't increased for the commercial operator, then maybe considering putting aside or capping private or a residential might be a way to go, because we really need to focus on the commercial operators. Or anyway, option 2 is a way to go, and I guess the question whether you cap the residential or not.
Well, thank you so much. This has been great feedback and great discussion. I don't think I need to extend the discussion any further because I got the information I needed. So thank you.
Very good. Glad we could be of service to you, Andrea, and thank you very much for your presentation. That would lead us to the next portion of our agenda, which would be reports and announcements. I'd like to first ask staff if anybody from staff has reports or announcements. I see Kathy has joined us on camera and would give the floor to her first.
I don't have any specific announcements. Thank you, Chair Lorraine. But right now on the crystal ball, we don't have anything agendized for the next meeting. More times than not, things come up over the course of the month. But if nothing does come up, then we would probably likely cancel the next meeting.
Oh, do we no longer have the Clean Water Project update or program update?
I think the version of the crystal ball I saw had the next item in July.
Right. Well, I'm sorry to report that we are in June already.
My bad. I really thought there was another month in between there. So yeah, I'm very embarrassed about that.
if only the year is just going so quickly. But yeah, so I suppose we have maybe then one item at the moment.
Yeah.
Excuse me, through the chair, this is Cookie. We actually have one other item. I believe it's the rail corridor. It's either that or the TOD that will be coming in July, and the other one may be in August.
You scared me, Cookie. I thought you were going to say right now, like an item I didn't even realize or prepare for. Thank goodness. Okay. Rail corridor. Yes, reviewing of those in the rail corridor plan and their counts and so on.
Yes,
Very
that's
good.
Correct.
Thank you. Commissioner Rowinski, please.
Sure. I think actually there's plenty that needs to be discussed. We're still waiting. I'm sorry, let me just take this. You know, the citywide ADA assessment was supposed to be presented to the commission in the fall, January, April timeframe was my understanding. And that's very important. Because I've gotten some requests from residents in terms of when that's going to be presented. There was a citywide ADA assessment done, and it is to be presented to the commission's my understanding, and now it was on the crystal ball, now it's off the crystal ball.
So my apologies, that it would be a Public Works item, so I'm not intimately familiar with the status of that. So we'll have to get back to you after discussing with Zelia.
Okay, great, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Rowinski. I'm just going to take a look and see who we have in the meeting. If those are the staff reports and announcements, I thank Assistant City Manager Kathy for her input and Cookie, and ask if any commissioners have any reports or announcements. No? Okay, well, I have one or two, and I'll just try to be quick about it. Since I will try to help out Public Works and plug their upcoming events, which I hope people can participate in if they have the time and inclination. As Citizen Drew mentioned earlier in the meeting, yes, indeed, we have a community meeting related to the bike infrastructure on East 28th Avenue. Coming up, that will be at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, June 30th. So for those interested in making comments, giving feedback, or learning more about the bicycle boulevard projects that we have on either side, and kind of the Hillsdale station that recently reopened, and what methods may be available for us to cross, that will be a hot ticket meeting. I would encourage you to attend. We also have a wastewater treatment plant project update available on Zoom at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, June 15th. So that's this next coming Tuesday. For those interested in that, information on that meeting and more, including the sweet bike plan page that we saw last month, is available on the Public Works webpage on the City of San Mateo, which is www, don't forget that part, don't be like me, www.cityofsanmateo.org/Public Works. A lot of information can be found on that page. So I just encourage you to check that out and those upcoming city meetings. And if there's nothing else from others, then I will adjourn this meeting and thank everybody for their time.
Okay, thank you.